So I'm at a Diecast toy show in Roscoe, Illinois, just north of Rockford and about 80 miles away from downtown Chicago. Fellow collectors, you have a treat today because we are going to be going table to table at this incredible show. Over 50 vendors, totally sold out. As you can see, there is already quite an impressive crowd. So awesome to see fellow collectors coming out, shopping around. Shop till you drop. Admission is only $3. Just pay your $3. You can get in and get all of this incredible access. You can spend all day here, that's for sure. So I am starting up here on the second floor just to give you a quick overview of the entire show. And we are going to head down and start going table to table at this awesome toy show. Again, this is in Roscoe, Illinois. It is just north of Rockford, Illinois, and about 80 miles away from downtown Chicago. I get a lot of questions on where you can find these shows. The best place is probably gonna be your Facebook groups. I'm in quite a few Facebook groups on just revolving around Diecast near the Chicago area, and a lot of folks post up their digital flyers, and you can just jot that information down and be on the lookout for something that's local to you. So we're gonna start up here at the front, actually at the entrance. And I do see a fellow collector here. Chris, great to see you.
Hey, what's going on? Great show.
Yes, great show. So we're here at the front entrance. And I will show you as we turn the corner here. It is a sight to see. Check out these views. So yes, Facebook groups are gonna be your best bet to learn about these. Try to find groups that are local to you. I'm in the Chicagoland area. So a lot of these shows are within driving distance of Chicagoland. And you will find that it is a great way to network, great way to chat with other collectors about our passion, which is die-cast toy cars. So we are going to get straight into it right off the bat. We have some pretty cool monster trucks. Check out that Bigfoot. That is cool. And we are actually starting at Derry's table. Derry is the organizer for the event. Gets a lot of locals coming here, gets some people from out of town. It is great to see. And it's always awesome to have these organizers, find the venue, put all this together, organize the vendors for us collectors to be able to come out, do some shopping, and even just take in all the history. As many of you know, diecast history goes very far back. It's a very rich history. Some of the earliest brands, such as Dinky, all the way back in the sort of 20s and 30s. You then fast forward to brands like Corgi, Tomica, Matchbox, and you even get to more modern brands, such as Mini GT, Tarmac Works, Kaito House. So when you attend shows like this, it's just such a great way to take in the different decades, the different eras, all of the different series that have come out from the various brands. And every diecast brand is going to have a sort of unique take on what they want to bring to the market. For example, Hot Wheels. Well, Hot Wheels was born out of the West Coast custom car culture scene. They were born in 1968 when muscle cars, custom cars were all the rage, and they came out with their Sweet 16 models, the first 16 Hot Wheels ever produced. They are all about outside the box, wild, crazy designs. Conversely, something like Matchbox is going to focus more on realism. That was their thing all the way back when they started in 1953. So there's no shortage in finding a specific style that you gravitate towards. We as collectors really buy off of emotion. We get certain attachment to specific castings. And I would argue that is how we make our decisions on what we pick up for our personal collection. So head over to this table. We do have quite a few cars in protectors. Maybe you want a brand that's a little bit more playful. You might go with something like Tomica with a very cute kind of, cutesy Japanese charm on a lot of those Tomica models. Or maybe realism is your thing. You want to see that insane attention to detail, and you'll go with something like Mini GT or Tarmac Works. Mini GT is going to be a little bit of a better value, meaning just a little bit of a lower price point. Or you want, say, an ultra-realistic race car where every single sponsor, every single nook and cranny is accurate on the 1/64 scale representation. Tarmac Works is your brand if that is what you like. So these are some cool older Hot Wheels as well. I think these are like mid-90s if I'm not mistaken. Some of these like creature cars got that cool shark. I mean, insane color combos too, as you can see, just bright, a little bit all over the place, but hey, that's what Hot Wheels is all about. Quirky, wild, outside the box, creative. That has been a part of their brand identity since the very beginning. So next up, we do have Brian's table. Brian is such a cool dude, very, very experienced collector, knows his stuff when it comes to die-cast cars. He always has an incredible selection at these shows. Take, for example, this display up here. Just take a look at these awesome, awesome castings. We have some Redlines with the enamel paint. We also have some Redlines with the Spectraflame paint. Spectraflame Redlines ran from around 1968 to 1972. In 1972, there were some issues with the lead in the paint, a couple other factors as well, where they needed to switch over to the enamel paint, which is what you can see right here on this one here. Fun little flower deco on there as well. And as I like to say, it's always really cool to see just how the vendors set up their tables. You kind of have the actual table itself where you're looking down, but then some of the guys like to bring up these sort of racks or pegboards as well. Really helps with just being able to see everything. It's just a great variety for us collectors to be able to take everything in and decide which one is going to be coming home with us. We have an older Matchbox here, nice little steak truck. And some other cool pieces in their protectors. And while we're up here, I'll give you one more full pan of the room so you can just take all this in. Look at the incredible turnout. Over 50 vendors, dozens to hundreds of collectors ready to shop, ready to look around for some die-cast. I'm gonna pivot over here to my left because we have, again, just such historical pieces. We have our Redlines here, primarily Spectraflame paint, but some of that enamel paint I spoke of a few moments ago as well. Again, your Spectraflame paint on Redlines ran from 1968 when the brand first started all the way to 1972. They then had to switch over to that enamel paint. And honestly, enamel paint is great. On this channel, on this page, wherever you're watching, I do give a lot of praise to that Spectraflame paint as you can tell, just absolutely glows at you. It's so gorgeous. But something like a clean enamel paint, I think that looks almost just as good. Very clean look, almost as if it's a auto manufacturer level of paint, something you see on a 1/1 scale car. These of course are toy cars, but I mean that just even makes it more impressive with how good this paint is. Take for example the enamel paint on this one, just so clean, shiny, barely any scratches. It just looks so impressive. And after the Redline era, we get into the Black Wall era. Black Walls ran from around 1970s to the 1980s. And after that, we get into the Collector Number Series, or the Blue Card era. After that, we get into my personal favorite decade, which is sort of that late 90s into early 2000s into 2010s. Hot Wheels was just pushing out so many incredible castings that I personally have gravitated towards. We have some character cars, plenty of variety. Now I know these aren't everybody's cup of tea, but still really, really impressive that Hot Wheels comes up with all these interesting executions of these characters. You know, Hot Wheels always plays with their imagination. They say, for example, how would we turn a character from Star Wars into a car? Kind of interesting. The other diecast brands don't really ever have that question because they're simply not making character cars, but it does just make you think. It kind of gets you into the heads of the designers. Sort of, what do you think they were thinking when they were making a Chewbacca into a vehicle? So for that reason, I do think it's still really cool that they do something like this.
Darth Vader.
There we go, Darth Vader. So just really unique, kind of quirky.
Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker, that's a cool colorway on that one. Check out some of these other ones as well. Oh, we got Yoda over here, that's cool. And you can even tell the scale. So obviously Yoda being a lot, substantially smaller than some of the other characters, you can even see that translates. Got the droid there, nice. So you can see the scale of this Yoda being a smaller character versus something like, is that a clone trooper? I think that's a clone trooper. So just great to see all the different variety. Hot Wheels is your brand if you enjoy that quirky, that creative, that outside the box feel with regard to your die-cast habits, your die-cast joys, your die-cast, whatever you want to call it. We have some more monster trucks here as well. And then turn over to my right, take a look at this table, some even more monster trucks. Looks like we have some Johnny Lightning coming up here. Make sure to do a nice slow pan for you. And then we even have some Matchbox moving parts off to my left. And this is that relatively new packaging. They're trying to be more eco-friendly. I believe it's all from recycled materials, both the casting itself and the packaging. As you can see, there's no plastic. So here, this Barrett Jackson one, obviously a lot of plastic with that blister versus no plastic on the new Matchbox moving parts. There have been some critiques. Some collectors claim it's easier to steal. I can't really make that argument, as you can easily take a blister off of a plastic packaging. I've also seen some paint defects where this sort of a biodegradable material has been rubbing some of the paint off the casting. I do see that as a potential issue long term. So it'll be interesting to see how this package does over time. Years of collecting. Some of you more seasoned collectors are obviously familiar with the blisters, where if they're out in the sun for too long, or if they're just in a very humid environment, they can start to get some yellowing. So not as crystal clear as the ones you're seeing here, but actual like yellow tint to it. So just something to keep an eye on regarding packaging for the future of diecast. So we've got a mixture of different toys here. We have looks like some Christmas ornaments here. I am filming this in January of 2025, so Christmas was just a few weeks ago. And we have some awesome M2s. These are in the acrylic cases. You get the label of the actual car right up there in the front. Kind of cool metal base as well on the where it's sitting, the actual base that the car is on, so that's cool. We got some unique Hot Wheels as well. A couple RLC models. You have that Golf Datsun. Got that gorgeous Lamborghini Countach. Love that colorway on that one. The Dodge Van. And the BMW. And we have some higher end Hot Wheels here. So these are going to be your nicer Spectraflame, a little bit harder to obtain, as well as a little bit of that higher price tag. Hot Wheels is so good at providing any price point. They really make it accessible to any collector, whether you want to spend $1 a month, $10 a month, $100 a month, or $1,000 a month. They really cover all their bases with the different series that they do. RLC is going to be your Redline Club, sort of direct-to-consumer premium series that, again, Hot Wheels just has a field day with coming up with different exciting designs for us collectors to just be totally enamored by. So I'll show you a couple of those. We have some convention pieces as well here. Check this side as well. And we will juxtapose this pegboard with what's over to my right, which is your simple $1 models. Pretty vintage at this point. These are probably, I'd say, late 90s, maybe early 2000s. So these were all just your typical $1 model, but still just such impressive tampos, impressive graphic design on both the packaging and the deco on the casting itself, and then the actual casting design. Everything really, really comes together, and it kind of just blows my mind that there is so much, I will say, detail and creativity. I think Hot Wheels does have detail and obviously creativity. Just so much packed in for $1. I just don't really know of any other toy or collectible or art piece where you can appreciate so much for such a low price. And that is one of the many reasons why I'm so passionate about this hobby. There is no shortage of beautiful art and design that we get to appreciate for as little as $1 and some change. So I will hush up for a moment. Let's take this all in. I'm going to go a little bit up here so you have a full viewing, and we're going to go nice and slow and just take in all of these incredible Hot Wheels castings. And it's always great to see just the different variety each vendor brings. I love when the selection is very sort of spread out. You have your Hot Wheels, your Matchbox, your M2s, which we'll get into in a second, your Johnny Lightnings, your more premium brands as well. Take a quick look at this table. We have some other toys here, as it is a toy show. And I forgot to mention, this is the Northern Illinois Toy Show. It's organized by a gentleman by the name of Derry. And it's great, again, that he has the space for us to be able to shop around every single month. And there are some deals going over here, so we will skip that table just out of respect for that vendor and collector who are looking to make a transaction. We'll head over to this table where we start with some awesome Disney cars. These are by Mattel. Some Disney cars are also produced by Tomica, the Japanese diecast brand. We have some awesome team transports here. Go wide again so you can take in everything at this table. Love this era of Matchbox. Actually, you know what? I'll zoom in a little bit just because I love this era of Matchbox. Give you a close look at these. I do have that one right there, the Electrician Austin minivan. Absolutely love that deco. It's just so cool. So it's simple and it's real, right? I mean, when you're driving on the road, you would see something like an electrician, driving past you. Granted, in modern day, we're not going to see probably something like an Austin minivan like that, but something like this even, this Jeep Grand Cherokee with the National Park livery. That is what Matchbox is all about. Anything you will see on the road, they like to capture and create in 1/64 scale. We then move on to some Hot Wheels. Got the nice little Fiat 500. They did do a little bit of a retooling for the Fiat 500e. They just made like a really small change to like the front and rear bumpers and called it an E version. But just an interesting fun fact for you. And we have some nicer pieces over here in protectors. Got that beautiful Ferrari. There have been rumors of Ferrari coming back. I can't say I am in agreement that it's actually coming back. I think time will tell. I think the claims were that with Formula One coming out, Ferrari would be part of that, therefore the license is back, but I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical. We'll have to just see. Time will tell. And we have some gorgeous Super Treasure Hunts with that amazing Spectraflame paint. So like I said earlier, those red lines we looked at are going to be kind of your very, very first sort of sighting of Spectraflame as they were on the castings that Hot Wheels made right at the very beginning, versus your more modern day Spectraflame. You'll see it on your Super Treasure Hunts. You'll see it on Ultra Hots, a Target exclusive series. You'll see it on Hot Wheels ID, which is no longer a series. It was retired in 2022. You'll see it on those RLC models that we saw on the pegboard. And we'll head over to this next table. We have some more modern Matchbox. And then we get into some more modern Hot Wheels. This one's a cool piece here, that new Porsche 911 Rally that will be a Super Treasure Hunt in 2025 in a gorgeous green. But again, just a 10 out of 10 execution by Hot Wheels. Very impressed by how good they did with this. Again, everything, the wheel choice, the deco, the actual casting itself, all of it is so impressive. Shout out to Andres Andrieu. This was one of his decos, the Milk and Cookies, probably my personal favorite of his so far. Andres Andrieu is a graphic designer, meaning he does the graphics that come up on the sides of the casting. It's not the casting design itself, but the deco. And that is just so fun. Milk and Cookies, I mean, come on. I would totally walk up to a Milk and Cookies food truck if I saw one at an event of some sort. That is just another quirky design that we all know and love with Hot Wheels. All right, so fellow collectors, we have just barely scratched the surface. As you can see, I haven't even made it halfway yet, so if you haven't already, sit back, relax, grab a beverage, click pause if you gotta go run and do a couple things, and come back, and let's take all these incredible diecast cars. And again, it's just the volume of cars that you can see at these shows is just unmatched. You really just will not be exposed to this much unless you go out to a show like this, or maybe a large secondary, a secondhand store, excuse me. We have some beautiful Supers up here, a little bit more modern. Most of these are from last year, 2024. That was your A case, that was your J case, H case, I believe, M case, L case, G case, etc., etc. And we have that full race day set. He's missing that pink Roxy. That one is still going for a pretty penny on the secondary, but great to see that full set. And we have some cartoon. This looks like the Walgreens. Walgreens has a little bit of a shorter card compared to the Target cards, just a little bit smaller. There's your full series. We also have the anniversary series. So as you're kind of seeing, Hot Wheels has done a lot of series. You can very quickly get overwhelmed. So something I almost even recommend to other fellow collectors is to try and think about what you don't want to collect. Kind of work backwards and then kind of hone in on what you believe is what excites you the most. I mean, these toy cars are here to bring us joy, right? But there's just so many to choose from. So to kind of avoid that, for lack of a better term, option paralysis, and to really hone in on the specific castings that you're looking for, one method that I have found has worked pretty well is to decide what I don't want to collect and then work backwards, right? So really cool piece here, the Hot Ones. I believe this was sort of a 1980s era, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, this must be a remake, 2011 copyright, so a little bit of a more modern version, but the original Hot Ones was back in the 1980s. It's a really cool piece to see in person. Some cool card art here. We have Soul on this El Camino, very vibrant, very colorful. And maybe it's something as broad as that. Say you're going to collect more colorful, bright pieces, or maybe you want to collect a little bit more toned down. Your neutral colors, your blacks, your grays, your browns. Or maybe JDM is your thing, maybe muscle cars is your thing. We have a beautiful selection of some mail-ins, some looks like some RLCs as well. Give you a nice full pan of this one here.
What the best one?
Some other miscellaneous Hot Wheels on this side of the table. Do have a couple NFTs. NFT just finished up their 10th series. This one here is a Series 7, as you can see up there in the corner.
Oh yeah, they're dressed up as babies. Yeah.
There's the actual casting itself. NFTs is another series that do have that Spectraflame paint with a metal base, so a little bit nicer than your Supers.
They kept moving.
This one is the Zamac from Series 6, by the way.
The first two were good. The third one was a little bit. The one that grossed me out.
And we got some Hot Wheels Premium. Maybe Premium is your thing.
Dude, I was like, remember when you...
They're pretty easy to find just because of the larger cards, right? A little bit larger than your typical mainline casting. It's also easier to sight. Also easier to sight in, in the toy aisle, right? You can just walk right up to the premiums, see if anything new is on the pegs, your boulevards, your car cultures, your team transports, your 2-packs. So again, just a ton of variety that Hot Wheels is going to have in their premium line as well. Complete juxtaposition. We have something like this, right? Just totally outlandish, colorful, creative, carnival steamer, right? Very whimsical, as I like to say with something like that. And we will head over to this next table here. Just give you a quick little pan of this one. We have mostly modern Hot Wheels. So you have your Dark Horse right here. You got plenty of R35s and some other miscellaneous cars. I see some regular treasure hunts in there, some more modern Matchbox, and some Zamacs as well. Zamac is when you get that bare metal look, right? So no color. Sometimes they'll do tampos, but no color. You get that bare metal look, very die-cast type of energy with those Zamacs. So maybe that is your thing regarding your collecting habits. And hey, by the way, if space is of no concern, yeah, pick up everything you like, right? I mean, there's so many cool castings. There's going to be no shortage of you to find. If you have the space for it, hey, by all means, pick up as much as you want, as much as your wallet will allow, as much as the space in your house or your storage solution will hold. You can just have a field day, but at least I can speak anecdotally here. I do not have the space to collect everything that I just think looks cool. Therefore, I really need to narrow it down and start making some hard decisions. I mean, last year I collected a couple hundred castings, but I actually let go of around 100 castings. So I've mentioned this in my videos before, but I try to just be as specific as I can be. And if it's a casting that doesn't bring me joy, even if I got it, say, a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, if I look at it and it no longer brings me joy, I have zero problem with giving it away, driving over to Goodwill, and letting somebody else enjoy it. But again, that is because space does come at a premium for me. So I do have to make those hard decisions. So I talked with this vendor a little bit earlier. We have some reproductions of, if any of you follow Bruce Pascal, you'll know what this is, the rear loading beach bomb. This pink one is known to be one of the most rare, if not the rarest Hot Wheel. So still really cool to see. I mean, the reproduction is beautifully done. I love that kind of copper, like root beer color almost. We'll look at this side as well. And sort of that like custom or wheel swap route, maybe that's something that really excites you, right? You like working with your hands, you like making those wheel swaps, you like removing the paint, starting fresh. Have a brand new canvas, if you will. You have some M2s down here. And then we have some more modern Hot Wheels. Got more of those Zamacs. So again, you'll see pretty much no paint color, but they do incorporate the decos, as you can see on that Honda City Turbo. Got that nice Chevy Nova. And those are Walmart exclusive, by the way. Sometimes I have seen collectors find it randomly at like a Dollar Tree or something, but regarding Mattel's actual wishes, I believe it's a Walmart exclusive. So those are cool to see. Some nice Disney cars as well.
Because I'm also looking, I would even look for like a...
And we got some bangers in this last cabinet here, all super treasure hunts. Some modern, but some a little bit older as well. So I'll try and give you a nice full pan of this entire display case here. And then we'll get an up-close look at some superlatives. Take, for example, that gorgeous Chevy truck. Look at that. My goodness.
The only other type of...
I do have a variant of this one, the 63 T-Bird. I'm just in a teal color, nothing fancy about it. It's not a super, but this one is gorgeous with that Spectraflame green. And we get into the sort of like 2010s era. I've talked about the graphic style of this packaging during the 2010s. Very distinct, very graphic style, sort of paint splatter, just a very vibrant street that it's driving on. So it's a good way to tell if you're looking at a 2010s era Hot Wheels. Is that very kind of hard to see, but the orange road with the white stripe and the blue with the dots and everything. It's a great way to tell apart the 2010s era. We have that beautiful P-Case 2024 Super, that Lamborghini. This one's a great one as well. This 57 Chevy, beautiful execution. They kind of got a little bit of a patina effect on there, which is kind of hard to do with a shiny Spectraflame paint. So that one really came together nicely. And we'll look at this last row. We have the boom box that kind of represents a Cadillac Escalade. We have a second one of that beautiful Chevy. And then this is a 69 Chevy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, custom 69 Chevy. There is a more modern one. It was actually my second Super I ever found in the wild, the 2020 retool of that casting. Got some cool toys in this one as well. As this is a diecast channel, I won't spend too much time, but it's great to see the representation of different toys all throughout history. We'll turn over to this table here. Always cool to see cases like this when the vendors come out. Something like this versus a just big bin with loose cars. You obviously know that the vendors are taking care of their loose die-cast for sale, right? So always a good sign when you see something like this, just because it means they are taking care of it. They don't want any more scratches. I mean, you have some quite rare pieces here as well, the Redline Spectraflame cars. So great to see when it's maybe not even to this extent, but just everything's in a small baggie in a big bin. That will also tell you that the vendor is taking care of their cars, that they're going to be in relatively good condition versus something that's just thrown in loose in a big bin. You might find lucky, that's a good place to find like multi-pack exclusives. But otherwise, you risk having pretty beat up cars in a bin like that. So great selection here. I'll get a little bit closer. We have some collector number series, so kind of classic early 90s blue card era, it's also referred to as. Got that highway hauler, great casting. And then we have some gorgeous Ferraris here. Got that nice Bugatti. Corvette split window up at the top for you muscle fans. I'll just give you a quick overview of this table here. Some loose cars.
Am I right?
This nice little diorama as well, Christmas theme. Okay, we'll move on. A little bit of a traffic jam, so just bear with me, fellow collectors. We will actually just circle back to the next aisle, just to not take up too much of your time. By the way, I'm Contour Toy Cars. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you have made it this far in the video, thank you so much. Appreciate you for being here. It's always great to be in a at a show like this, being able to document for you. You feel the energy of the room as well. It's always just cool to be around other collectors, making deals, talking with the vendors, learning about new castings they didn't really know about. We have some older Matchbox in here. That's really cool to see. We do have some collectors making some deals there, so we will be mindful of that and head over to this next table.
Yeah. 4x20. I know this is like a red line now. What do you on that? The project part, maybe.
Okay, we'll keep moving. If you need any 3D printing, looks like we do have a 3D printer here in the house. So BK 3D Designs, 3D printing and design. Give you a quick pan of their work here. Really cool stuff, really bright colors, really intricate designs as well, a lot of detail.
What's the going
So I do see a business card at the end. I'll make sure I show that on camera. If 3D printing is your thing, maybe you need something, I don't know if they do like any Hot Wheels related stuff, that'd be kind of cool. But
It does have a remote, and then it does have a little.
there's the business card for you. BK 3D Designs, 3D printing and more, brand and gold. Take a quick screenshot if you want the information. And we will keep moving on.
Who puts
So we have miscellaneous Hot Wheels here, quite a bit of modern. We also have some more modern premiums. Your Boulevards, there's that Spoon Civic Type R. I know that was a pretty in-demand casting there. As well as your Skylines from this pretty recent set. And we have some more Super Treasure Hunts, all pretty modern. Looks like mostly 2023 and 4. And the AK's 2025 right there. And your Elite 64. I haven't really talked about this on the channel, the Elite 64. This is another direct-to-consumer line that Hot Wheels released back in 2023. I believe they've done around like 7 or so models so far. Kind of a direct competition with Mini GT, I would say. It is a pretty high price tag, you know, in comparison to your typical mainline. But while initial reactions to it were a little poor, I would say, it does seem like collectors are starting to warm up to it a little bit, which is cool to see. And we got some miscellaneous Hot Wheels at this table as well, some more premiums, some more modern Hot Wheels as well. And let's do this large table towards the back here. We'll try to start over here, give you a quick look at these. And then we'll go nice and slow across this very large table. Great variety here by this vendor. This one.
I'm gonna look around. I might come back to it. I want to see if there's anybody else.
Yeah, I have a white one, but I don't know.
Military Jeeps around here.
Free?
And then a really good variety of loose castings for sale here. Again, just another great way to see all the pops of color, right? All the different castings, different designs. They got an announcement for some food. If you are hungry, take a quick break from your diecast shopping, go have a hot dog, have a brat, and then do another lap, if you will. So that's really cool to see. Yeah, a little bit of a traffic jam, so bear with me. We are going to go down. Let's go down this row here. Give you another pan of the room.
Yeah, I just did a search.
Check out this table here. Some more Hot Wheels. And then some more vintage Hot Wheels as well. Like I was saying earlier in the video, this is kind of what you get if you have, just sun exposure, or if it's maybe in a humid climate. That is what tends to happen over time. So, like I was saying over at the Matchbox moving parts, it'll be interesting to see what happens long term with that type of packaging where there's zero plastic. I would think it's going to be okay. However, what I've seen online with some paint rubbing off, I do think that would be a concern. Approaching the next decade here. So again, only time will tell, but not really a huge issue, especially if the casting seems to be overall in good shape. But otherwise, really great variety of some older Hot Wheels here. All right, so we will keep moving on. This is pretty cool, the G.I. Joe stuff. Beautiful box art. We have some larger scale slot cars. Those are cool to see. Some Tyco. That's awesome. Very, very beautiful art on these as well. And this is what I was also saying a few moments ago regarding the loose castings, right? So when they're just in here loose, you're not going to expect anything even remotely in decent. I mean, they'll still be in decent condition. Hot Wheels are, tested to withstand, right, the high amounts of play. But if you're looking for that more collector grade, sort of something in as pristine of a condition as possible, then it's always great to see the other boxes where castings can be a little bit more protected. But you can still find some some little gems in these boxes. If you have the patience, I mean, some of these vendors are bringing out a bin that's just like 12 inches deep or something crazy like that. So if you have the patience, you can definitely be spending an entire day here and find those treasures, right? This is a really cool vendor. This is this vendor is called Hot Wheels Hideaway. I actually showed off their booth in an antique mall. Really cool gentleman. I spoke with him a couple moments before actually starting the video, and he has a nice little booth set up in an antique mall. It's called Hidden Treasures, and I believe Loves Park, Illinois.
We have lunch in our hallway. We have fries, we have hot dogs, we have pop, we have chips. Again, we have hot dogs.
Another selection of loose diecast. And we have some higher end pieces, so a lot more old Hot Wheels here. Those are great to see.
So we got hearing aid up.
Some more higher end pieces, your RLCs. Got a couple chases in there. So again, this vendor is called Hot Wheels Hideaway. You can find information online, just search up Hot Wheels Hideaway. He's on Facebook as well. I highly recommend going and check out the antique mall. It's called Hidden Treasures. You can spend all day there too. I mean, just going through all the different booths. Hot Wheels Hideaway is going to be the most volume of Hot Wheels, right? But other vendors in the antique mall will also have some miscellaneous cars here and there. So I highly recommend, if you haven't been to an antique mall, definitely go check something like that out. Worth your time to go find some new treasures for your collection. Give me some larger scale. As well as some, it looks like a vintage Matchbox. Okay, then we're gonna go over to Dave's table. Dave's another great guy I see all the time in all the various shows.
How are you? No, I'm just looking right now.
Okay, we'll move on to the next table here.
So we're gonna put a pink dot in the middle and turn dots and get a clear coat of it. That'll look good though.
Where'd you get to grill it?
Corey had his son bring me a drill.
And then we have Tim's table here. Tim brought a really nice selection. I've seen him at some of the other shows. Great guy. Always has a pretty good variety. Loves his Matchbox cars too. I also love my Matchbox cars. Such a great brand with a lot of history, a lot of beautiful casting designs. We have some Johnny Lightning. And then we have some Hot Wheels. I actually picked this McDonald's toy up at a different show last year. This is a Formula Street, one of my top 5 favorite Hot Wheels castings. Got those nice 10 spokes on there. A little bit of a larger scale compared to your typical 164. But I do like stuff like that. Kind of like clanky, right? Just all plastic, but still good play value. Good to have something like that on your desk. Just kind of roll around. And we have some Batmobiles. We'll hit a few more tables in the main room, and then if you can believe it, there's actually smaller rooms at the show as well. So even if you're kind of maxed out already just in the main room, don't forget to hit up the smaller rooms as well. There's a gentleman, Phoenix Diecast. You might be familiar with them. Get out of their way here. Let's move on to this next table. Phoenix Diecast. He's out of Illinois. You can find him on Facebook. We are going to go check out his room at this show. Okay, we have this one here in the corner. Really nice gift set here. We got a 15 pack and a 10 pack. Okay, so let's go hit up the first couple rooms here. Show some supers real quick on the way. Very cool to see. Love that Mazda Cosmo. And let's make our way to
I always have a hard time telling.
Phoenix Diecast right here. All right, so let's take a look. Again, you can find them on Facebook. Right as you walk in, you're going to notice some protectors, plenty of different sizes to choose from. And he also has cases here as well. Looks like these are premium. What is this, a race day or?
No, this is these are all boulevards. That's
Boulevards,
modern
okay.
classics is all I have left.
Excellent, okay.
We've got pre-orders available of Hammer Drop boulevards.
All right, so get your hammer drop if you want to pre-order.
These are A and B cases.
Excellent.
And we got this. That's brand new.
Dioramas.
Dioramas. We got all kinds of transports.
So in fellow collectors, yes, you can just buy an entire 72 car count case if you want to cross your fingers, hope for that super, or just if it's a case that has a lot of castings that you personally like, hey, go for it. Pay the, I don't know the exact price tag, but pay the damage, and it's a, you know, just an easy way to acquire all the castings from a specific case rather than maybe if you don't have all the time in the world to be hunting around at different big box stores. It just makes it, you know, it's convenience, right? But it is cool that us collectors do have that option available. So we have a lot of Ultra Hots over here. Has that beautiful Spectraflame paint. There you go. We have some modern Hot Wheels, some mainline, some premiums down there. And I forgot to do the pegboard when we first walk in, but some higher end pieces up here, some supers. We have some RLC models, some convention pieces as well. We got that Rexy. A couple chases as well, your Alfa Romeo, your Countach. So no shortage of great pieces to acquire. Again, this is Phoenix Diecast. You can find them on Facebook. And we'll head over to this final room here. We're going to be taking a look at Peter's table pretty shortly here. Peter runs a different show that I'm excited to hit up. He has one coming up in a couple of weeks from now. I will try to share the information with you. He's closer to Chicago in Schiller Park. He runs the show every couple months. Always a really good turnout. Great venue as well. We have a 2 for $5 box in here. Again, it's a great way to dig through, try and find those treasures, different castings that you're hoping to pick up. We have the Coupe Clip. That's a cool Zamac there, that 70s van. Kind of reminds me of Scrabble, right? The word game. Oh, I can give you the information right here. This is the flyer. Go ahead and give a quick screenshot for all that information. So as you can see, the dates down here. He runs every couple months. And again, it's a really cool venue. It's at a Greek church, which is really cool. So it's, you know, it's awesome that these organizers have these spaces for us to shop around. And like I said at the start of the video, if you're looking to do something like this, I highly recommend joining Facebook groups. A lot of the organizers and other fellow collectors who are very seasoned and go to these shows all the time will have that information for you. I see a great variety of Hot Wheels. I've bought from Peter quite a few times now. I always like his selection. He kind of has that era that I love, sort of the, you know, early 2000s, 2010s era. A lot of my all-time favorites are during that time. We have these larger scale as well. That one's cool. Pepsi. And your Jeff Gordon. Okay, then we'll head over to this table. Looks like we have some Hot Wheels ID. ID ran from 2019 to 2022. And we have some main lines here. And some premiums. A couple team transports, those are great to see. Oh, this is cool. High breakers, or high rakers, excuse me. Look at that awesome packaging.
Yeah, that's why I like that one, because the
Oh yeah,
packaging art is
that's
amazing.
great. Yeah, Mattel 1982. So this is your kind of classic 80s packaging. A little bit of a different blue than in comparison. There you go. Just a little bit of a different shade. Different logos as well. You can see the Mattel logo at the bottom of the flame versus kind of how they wrap it around on the more modern packaging. So that is awesome to see. Always cool to see any card that's, say, you know, 20, 30 years old.
These are the older ones that we got here, the red lines.
Okay, so they do have the red lines as well. Some with
Yeah.
Spectraflame, some with enamel paint as well. They do have a deal going on, so we'll be respectful of that. But otherwise, just again, a ton of great variety. Got even some stuff over here in the bin. That's cool to see. So we will make our way out of this room, and I'm going to head back upstairs to give you one last final viewing. Again, my name is Contour Toy Cars. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you've made it to this part of the video, you are awesome. Appreciate you, my fellow collectors. Get out there and hunt. Find those gems. Find what makes you happy for your collection. Just check out this view. That is too cool. And so I hope you enjoyed. Always happy to give you some documentation of events like this, just so you know what to expect. Bring a bag, bring cash, bring some trades too. And from there, have a field day. Fellow collectors, I'm going to sign off for now. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.